Hello, hello. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. So yesterday on stream, I was doing few different strategies, farming strategies that I wanted to, I wanted to use the footage from that stream to make a video today, with like different tests, different experiments. But off stream, I decided to go for my all-time favorite mechanic, which is breach, and decided to experiment with it a little bit, just to see if maybe, it's going to be better than, like, I'll go lie, I don't think that breach is in its highest, purest form of how much currency you can get from it right now nowadays. That being said, I was experimenting with it, and what I found was pretty interesting. So there is this scarab, also known as breach scarab of resonant cascade. I tested this scarab many times in the past since they reworked scarabs. It was pretty useless. Breach is my favorite mechanic. I've been doing that for many years really. I don't want to say that from patch 2.5 when the breach was added to the game, but for quite a few years at this point. And this scarab after the rework was pretty much completely useless. It's said that every breach you're gonna open is going to be like more rewarding and stuff like that. I could never see any difference. Never. I could never see any difference. And I tested it again because they said that in the patch notes you could read that the Scarab got like a mini rework and now quote unquote it works. And the result is very surprising. It actually works. It 100% works. I started doing started experimenting with it, and what I did was basically this scarab and four breach scarabs, basic scarabs, just to add as many breaches as possible, just to be able to see if towards the end the remaining 2, 3, 4 breaches will start raining divines all of a sudden, or like something really good, right? And to my surprise, the first map I run gave me 2 divines, and that got me intrigued, right? I decided to like run a little bit more, and the result was pretty good. So what I did today basically is I recorded 2 hours of maps. I do believe exactly 20 maps with this strategy, and the results are they're pretty damn good, honestly. They're pretty damn for a strategy where basically the main bulk of what you're getting is Valdo boxes and divines. A little bit of Chayula breachstones as well, I guess. And it's very easy to sell. You don't have to deal with selling maps. Although we're gonna get to this strategy versus Blight later. But for what it is and for how easy it is to set up, this is pretty good. Not gonna lie, this is pretty damn good. And in this video, I'm going to show you guys everything about it, how it functions, what maps do you need, the atlas. I have the recorded 2 hours of footage. We're not going to go through 2 hours of footage, just saying right now. But I have the snapshots after 10 maps, the profits after 10 maps, profits after 20 maps. So the finished project basically, and we're going to go over all of that in this video. So I have a map over here. If anyone is curious, at the end of the video or towards the end, I'm going to show you guys how much exactly the costs and how much it took me to roll a map like this. Spoiler alert, it wasn't very much. It wasn't a lot. So it's not very hard to get a map like this. That being said, let's just jump into it, just making sure that I have the correct things selected. So we're going to do click breach. We're going to do the altar. Altars are pretty important. I'm just going to mention real fast that I'm also going to go over mistakes, because there are many mistakes that I think could be improved, and running strand map instead of, for example, jungle valley was one of them. That being said, let's jump into it. Let's do the showcase. I wanted to do a showcase. I have 2 hours of footage, so I just wanted to give you guys one of the maps, but that I had recorded in my 2-hour recording. But I decided towards the end that I'm just gonna do it myself, because why not? It's still gonna always feel more authentic, as I always say. That's why one of the reasons why I do my videos pretty much in a single take is I feel like they feel more authentic this way, and maybe there is something to it. Maybe there is. Anyway, as you maybe might or might not notice, my build increased in speed drastically, and there is a reason for that. This is really important. I dropped the flask that was giving me armor, so yes, right now basically I'm an Aegis build that has no armor whatsoever. I mean, I have like 20,000 or something. And also this is a map with less defenses, so I might be pretty damn squishy in this map, but you know, that's besides the point. I exchanged one of my flasks, the armor flask, into Quicksilver, simply because speed is extremely important during this strategy. And I can tell you right now that the faster your build is going to get, it's not going to be like Blight, where it's like set in stone. You open up the, you talk to Cassia, you open up the Blight, right, and you're good to go. The Blight is pretty much always going to last for the same amount of time. Doesn't matter if your build is faster or not, right? It just doesn't matter at this point. This is different. Here, speed actually matters. And I'm going to talk about this when we're going to go over the Atlas tree. But the speed of your character and how much damage you do and how fast you are is going to matter drastically. Headhunter might be a great choice doing this strategy, simply because, you know, just speed is going to directly affect how much currency per hour you'll be making this, because you can unselect one node that I have that makes the duration of breaches longer, because I just cannot keep up. Like, if I'm going to open a breach number 8, breach number 9, breach number 10 or something like that, they open up and close so quickly that I'm just not fast enough to clear everything, or like, you know, at least like vast majority. So I decided to go for it and select this this node. This way I can clear pretty much majority. But if your build is going to be faster, then you absolutely can and should abuse the node that makes breaches open and close even faster. This way you're going to be making more currency per hour, basically. Right, this is really important, and you know, even though the investment to start running this strategy is pretty damn low, because you know you pretty much need a map and few cheap scarabs and that's it. That being said, once again, your build should be strong. It should be strong, because this scarab is making, you know, the first 5 breaches you're probably not going to see a lot of difference, but after that you really start to notice that breaches start opening and closing very fast, and monsters get huge. Well, maybe not huge, but they do get tankier. So this is going to be important. Like, a powerful build is going to be needed. It doesn't necessarily need to be tanky, like it had to be while doing Blight, or at least it was recommended. No, as long as you have, like, you know, as long as your damage is very good and your speed is very good, then you're pretty much good to go. So this is something for the 6 portal defense players. Although, you know, experience doing this is really good, as it's always for breach. So if you want to hit a level 100 doing this, then you absolutely can. I'm already level 99, so finally, after I stopped doing a Blight, I started getting some experience, which is great. I definitely will get to level 100. I don't know if doing exactly this strategy. I plan on farming with this a little bit longer. But yeah, level 100 will be nice, right? Even for the challenge, for the achievements. I haven't done my 40 challenges in quite some time, so perhaps this is the time to do it. All right, so far no divines. We got an exalt though. When it comes to loot, it's going to, you know, you're gonna get the variety of stuff dropping from these breaches. The majority of income I had in the, you know, after 20 maps in the tab that I'm gonna show you was, I do believe, divines, Valdos, and we got one key, reliquary key, so that was like 2 divines. We got like 7 Chayula Breachstones in total. It basically is something like that. We got 3 containments because there's nothing. You know, we do have leftover points that we can use. Therefore, I invested them into Scarabs. So we do drop some Scarabs from time to time. My mercenary died, just unfortunate. Not because I need them, it's because less quantity from the map. So it's unfortunate, but doesn't really matter. We found an exalt number 2, so and this is this is a great showcase pretty much how often they're dropping more or less, because from experience doing this strategy, I can spoil it right now. After 20 maps, I got 18 divines and I believe something like 16 exalts or something like this. So basically every map you would get on average about like 2 in total, right? Like exalt and divine, something like that. A little bit less than that on average, but you get the idea. I have to be careful here because they have this modifier that makes you lose mana and energy shield on hit by rare and unique monsters, which means that I can't. This one is actually pretty annoying and pretty dangerous for this build, because if you're gonna jump into backup monsters, you can't attack because they're gonna steal your mana all the time. That's unfortunate. Great thing about this strat, one of the great things, is that there is very little preparation, and it's almost self-sustainable. Not quite, but it's almost self-sustainable, because majority of maps you will be able to farm yourself. There will be maps that you will have to buy because you have to run tier 16.5s for this strategy because of more currency. This is absolutely mandatory and imperative. I'm not sure if it's going to be as effective in tier 16 maps, and even less effective in lower tier maps, because obviously you lose altars and all that stuff. That being said, yeah. So more or less that's the showcase. We got 2 exalts and some other stuff. This map was nothing special. The mistakes, I can tell you about the mistakes I did while recording these 20 Strand videos. First of all, I don't think that Strand is the best. I think that Jungle Valley by far would be better. Strand is pretty long. Jungle Valley, you would be able to open 2 breaches at the same time, at least in the beginning, when they're not too tanky and when they don't close and open too fast. This way you would save time. And time is key everything, because time here and the speed of your character is going to be profit per hour. Second thing, Jungle Valley is great because the boss doesn't spawn there until you enter the arena, so that's going to be great for altars. Altars will have, the currency duplication from time to time, and this will work both on Valdos, I do believe, and on Divines as well. So this is great. I think that Jungle Valley is going to be better. Arguably the best map to run this strategy. Dunes will be great as well, but what is the most important is a fast character. You need to have speed. Alright, so more or less that's what it is. The showcase, I run a pretty dangerous map because it was the less defenses, which is like one of the worst mods for me, and the mana steal, so I left some monsters, some rare monsters towards the end that I didn't kill. That being said, this is more or less what you can expect from a single map, apart from, Exalted dropping as a Divine or something like this. And let's see what the results were after 10 and after 20 maps. This is what I have over here. So after 10 maps, I got, this says that we got about 30 diffs of profit. There were a few changes that I did just to be, super clear. When I finished farming, I took away the singular splinters. So for example, I had 80 Zov splinters. For some reason, this counts a single Zov splinter as a 1 chaos. So I took the single splinters. The only thing that's left is full breach stones, which are calculated properly. And also I did some changes that were too cheap. So for example, Valdos for some reason were 110 chaos each. Even though they're 140, 145, in a bulk you could sell even more expensive, so I changed them to 140. Blueprints I've been selling for quite some time for 30 chaos each, so that's what I set them to. And the same for Strand, tier 16.5 Strand maps. This is even, I've been selling them for 40 chaos, so once again, I tried to not put these prices too high, higher than they should be. Other than that, I did check the first 2 pages, because there's 4 pages here. From the first 2 pages, everything looked for the most part correct, for the most part. So this is pretty much the loot we got from first 10 maps. We're going to talk about costs later, of course. Then after 20 maps, so double the size, the loot per 10 maps, I guess you could say, decreased a little bit. We only got less than double. We got 56.6 divines. One weird thing happened though. I first I clicked on this, it was 58 point something, and then I clicked on load one tab, which like refreshes it one more time, like after like 30 minutes or something like that, and it dropped to this, to 56.6. So I'm not sure if I took something from that tab by accident, or if the price just uploaded or something. I don't know. That being said, I had the same principle like over here. I took away the stuff that I that was basically not calculated properly, like splinters, and I changed the price of. I didn't really change anything at this point. We have still blueprints for 30 chaos. We have tier 16.5 strengths for 30 chaos, and we have Valdos. This is the only thing I changed. On top of that, I completely disregarded, the unique drops that you would get from time to time. Of course, these are not going to be worth much, but I found chaos because there's a lot of uniques dropping from these monsters, especially towards the end. You constantly hear like ting ting ting. The filter is not going to show them, but you constantly hear uniques dropping. So you could expect maybe like a decent unique every now and then. I found Cam's Heart, found Void's Battery, and found these two. So if you're going to be doing for a long period of time, you can expect a decent unique to drop. I would say so. And the final result after 20 maps was 56.6 divines after I took the garbage that was not calculated properly. Final number would be probably about 57, 58 maybe, because many of these things are a little bit underpriced. For example, once again, I could make like 150 chaos from Baldos or something like that. The Voidborn Reliquary Key would be something like 450 chaos and 420. So you lose a little bit of currency there and there, right? That being said, let's talk about costs, right? This is the result I had after 20 maps. Let's talk about costs. So the cost of the map was basically 20 times force breach scarabs. So that's 80 breach scarabs and 20 breach scarab of resonate cascade. On top of that, you need to have maps, and you need to roll your maps. So what I did is, towards the end of the video over here, I already have it prepared. I rolled my maps literally at the end of the recording, just to show you guys how much it's going to cost, and then we're going to like put everything together. We're going to calculate that how much running this strategy is going to cost you. So I have like 10 tier 16.5 maps. I run out of strands, so like towards the end I had two. I believe beach and something else maps over here. So alchemy orbs, I'm obviously not going to count that. And we have 778 chaos orbs over here and 55 exalts. So let's see how many we're going to have after I'm done rolling my maps, right? So I'm just going to roll past this a little bit, because this is just like, we want to see when I'm going to finish the entire process, instead of just like, check all of that in the middle. That's just a waste of time. All right, so at this point, 699 chaos. This is when I decided that all these maps look more or less good enough, and I started exalting them, right, to get the maximum amount of modifiers. So we were sitting at 55 exalted orbs, so we lost 14, and we lost about 80 chaos orbs, and this is the result. So 154% more currency. I'm gonna talk about maps briefly because I forgot to talk about that. For breach, the monster pack size is irrelevant. The quantity will make them drop more splinters and more loot, but the monster pack size I do believe is irrelevant. So what you're basically looking for while farming this strategy is basically item quantity and more currency. These are the main things that you're looking for. You want to pump them as high as possible. I don't think it's worth it to use the scarabs, the chisels, the Maven chisels, to increase the currency. That sounds like a waste, honestly. But if you have like a crazy map, if you roll the map with 300% currency or something like that, and if you want to like juice it to like some crazy level, just this one map, then I guess you could go for it. That being said, let's just go over. This is the result, right? This is the result over. This map had 280% currency, as you can see, with very high quant. So this one was nice. 210, 179. 140 and stuff like that, right? You get the idea. It cost us, of course, 10 tier 16.5 maps plus 14 exalts plus 80 chaos. That's what it costs to roll these maps. So this is not going to be needed anymore. So let's calculate this. Let's use good old calculator, and let's calculate how much we spent in total. So for 80 breach scarabs, each one of them is going to cost 3.5 chaos, but for the sake of making it easier, I'm going to say 4 chaos. So 80 times 4 plus. Then we have 20 breach scarabs of like cascade something, I forgot the name. They're 2.5 chaos each, so that's plus 50, right? Then we have 20 tier 16.5 maps. I'm going to count them as 30 chaos each, the same way I priced them over here in the results, right? So that's plus 600 chaos. Then we have 14 exalted orbs, but we need to double this because we run 20, not 10 maps. So that's 28 exalted orbs. So that's going to be, let's just say 20 chaos each, right? So that's going to be 560 chaos. And then the last, we have 80 chaos orbs, which is once again going to be doubled into 160. So this is the total cost, right? There's nothing else. We have scarabs over here, these two. We have maps, and we have exalted orbs and chaos orbs. Divided by, I don't know how much divine is. Let's just say something like this. That's 7.8 divines. The total cost, 7.8. So if we're going to take the profit, 56.6 minus 7.8. That is the total profit from the strategy, boys. Plus, like, you're gonna find, like, some unique items. But this is what you see. This is what you're gonna get. So divided by 20, because we run 20 maps, that is almost 2.5 divines of raw profit per map. And the fact that with a very quick build, with a very fast build, you can probably do a single map like that in 3-4 minutes. For me personally, the single map took about 6 minutes. 5.5 maybe, so I could run maybe 10-11 maps an hour. For a very quick build, and I mean like a very quick build specialized for this, you could probably run 50 maps per hour. So if you had a very, very quick build, the profit could look something like this. Like 35 to maybe even 40 divines per hour. So this is what you can get from this. I was really surprised because these new scarabs, after the rework, after the change, fixes, whatever you want to call it, they really truly look like something. They look like they don't suck ass anymore. So you can experiment with it, and I definitely will, because next video is going to be a, I don't want to say like a, I'm going to add something to it, and we're going to try different variations. So we're gonna add breach with delirium. We're going to add breach with beyond. We're gonna do few more versions, combinations of this, just to see which one is going to be the most profitable, and that's pretty much it. Quickly, I'm going to talk about Atlas very, very quickly, because maybe someone didn't watch the entire showcase. Because there is something important to talk about. So obviously we want to get as many breach nodes as possible. So we're getting this breach over here, this breach. There are some breach nodes that you could potentially skip. Also, I think the best way to do this, it's either invest into all breach nodes or drop this one and this one. So I made a mistake here because I should have invested into this. This way I would most likely drop some additional full breach stones from Chayula. So for 4 points, this would actually be pretty decent, I think, most likely. That being said, if you want to use this, you can. If you don't want to, then you should probably drop this and this, both of them, and invest into something else. So breach over here, this is very important because, as I mentioned before, if your build is not insanely fast, then you probably want this, because otherwise towards the end, when there is the highest profits, you will not be able to get you will not be able to kill all the monsters, most likely. If you have a very, very fast build / using headhunters / something else, you probably want to drop that completely, or maybe even invest into this and these two nodes over here that will make them even faster. But you really need to have like a zoom build for that. So something to keep in mind with good damage. Then obviously we want to get this because dropping more tier 16.5s is always great. Then obviously after getting breach, we want to get quantity here and the quantity plus rarity in the middle. Then you want to get as many explicit map modifier as possible to juice the quantity and currency, more currency as much as possible. And then literally the remaining points I added into Scarabs, wherever I could find them. As you can see, like for example, we got 3 containments from that strategy altogether. We got 1 Horned Scarab of Awakening, so we got a little bit. Like we got 2 Bloodlines, so we got a little bit. But let's be honest, the Scarabs were not like a huge bulk here. We can check even the category if we're gonna check fragments. I do believe minus this, so the Scarabs would be they would still be a little bit because there is like a lot of like smaller Scarabs over there. So Scarabs always add up, right? Scarabs always add up at the end of the day. Yeah, they're always going to be worth something. So Scarabs probably not that bad, but I will be experimenting with something else in the future. And by the future, I mean probably next video in 2 days, right? But this is going to be it, boys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about this strategy, it's very simple, very self-explanatory. But if you're going to have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to read every comment as always. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.